for you guys. Have you guys ever heard about Ron Paul?
Many times.
Many times. What do you think of him?
Not the biggest fan.
Not the biggest fan. Why so?
Because I understand he wants to eliminate education and healthcare. It's human rights.
He wants to eliminate federal monopoly on education and healthcare.
Okay.
Do you agree with the federal government taking over the control of healthcare and education?
I think that someone has to.
Do you think that a bunch of people who sit around a round table in Washington deciding how 300 million people should get their health care or how they should get their education with the money that you and I all work hard for?
I think that in a democratic system that anything short of 2 or 3 people making decisions for 300 million is with, input from other people or input from the public is good. I think that saying the federal government, identifying the federal government as this entity that is inherently evil is dangerous, and that federally funded healthcare is better than what we have now in the free market system. Right, Tony?
Do you believe that is because there's too much federal intervention already, that the healthcare system, there's not enough free market, that the federal government has put a strangle on the free market? That
No.
the doctors can't really get across what they want because they have a bunch of HMOs and all these pharmaceutical corporations telling them what they can and cannot do?
I believe that is the problem, and I believe the federal government, if it changes its policy, which it needs to do, and it has to do it correctly, can get us out of that.
So you think that doctors should have more regulations then?
No.
Because
I think
exactly
the patients
what-
should have more money.
And so you think that the federal government regulating everything what doctors should do will give patients more money?
I think I didn't say that. I said I think the patients should, I think health insurance needs to change. And I think that doctors should be able to run their own businesses and their own practices, but I just think the money's not getting to the people who need it.
Why do you think the money's not getting to the people though?
I heard something.
Because medicine is a business, and the people in power want to make more money.
So
You can't make money off people's lives. It's
So
just
you don't
not
think
right.
that these pharmaceutical corporations are in bed with big government?
I'm sure they are, and that needs to change too.
So expanding the size of the federal government
And
is going to...
eliminating the federal the health
So expanding the size of the federal government is going to solve
more and more
big government?
Sorry?
You think that... You agreed with me that the pharmaceutical corporations are in bed with big government.
Yes.
So you think expanding the size of the federal government will make it better?
Only if you simultaneously eliminate the healthcare corporation.
Why don't we simultaneously shrink the pharmaceutical corporations and the federal government?
Because then nobody could do it.
But that's not true.
Who would do it?
With the free market. The free market hasn't been able to work because it's been strangled by the pharmaceutical corporations and the federal government.
I don't think that the free market will inherently favor the patient. I think the free market will inherently favor the corporation. I think it'll favor who can make the most money out of it, as opposed to the millions of poor people who can't afford to.
Well, when you think about these pharmaceutical corporations who are getting subsidies by the federal government, you think that these pharmaceutical corporations will have a huge influence on the pharmaceutical corporations if they weren't being subsidized?
I'm not sure where you're going with that. Plus, I have to go.
Okay.
But I hope you have better luck with someone else.